Hello, Facebook land. A beautiful, magical Monday to you. I'm joining you a little bit later because as I was in preparing my lunch, all of a sudden I had this huge aha and went, oh my gosh, it's Monday. I need to be on Facebook with my people and doing a Facebook Live video. So holy shit, here I am. Anyways, a little bit late. And no worries, I've got wonderful material for you today, as always. So let's jump right into today's video and talk a little bit about emotions. So in the past weeks, as I've been going through posting these videos, I've noticed there's been a lot of emotions coming up around all of the videos that I've been posting, from setting boundaries to responding instead of reacting to being in your body instead of your head. So let's go in a little bit and talk about emotions, because that seems to be the next fitting puzzle on top of these weekly videos that I've been doing. So if you can just be with me for a moment as I begin to go into this and think about emotions as energy within our bodies. So what I would like you to do is picture the word emotions and then separate the E from the motion, and now what you have is emotions, and what that equals is energy in motion. So all our emotions is energy in motion. And what happens a lot of times, if we are not in our bodies and we're in our head, or we're not fully expressing ourselves, we take these emotions or this energy and we tend to stuff. And as we stuff these emotions, it causes things like anxiety, overwhelm, stressfulness, which can lead to a whole bunch of reacting instead of responding. And then on top of that, with these emotions, it literally can cause other things. You wonder why you're always feeling depressed, or you wonder why you're always sad, or you wonder why you're always angry. You wonder why things aren't flowing. It's because these emotions have been stuffed, and they're in our body taking up space, and we haven't released them to let them out. And then what happens is, when we don't let them out, we're not able to take anything else in. It's like having a closed fist and wondering why you can't receive anything that someone is giving to you. Well, because you're all closed off. However, if we open up those hands and allow our energy to move through, we're then able to feel much more centered, much more grounded, and much more in our bodies. So let's talk about emotions and how they're energy, and a really quick guide system that you can use at any point in time to move you through this a little bit quicker. So once again, emotions are energy in motion. That's all they are. And what happens is, when they come up and we stuff them, we've already talked about that. Let's move into when they come up and actually how to move these through. So there's a few steps that I want to give you that are quite easy, quite simple, and can move you through this process a whole lot quicker. Now, when I'm talking about emotions, I'm talking about some day-to-day stuff that may happen that can trigger and bring up emotions. Obviously, there's emotions that are a little bit deeply rooted. If you've lost a family member or a pet, or you're going through something, very traumatic or very stressful, that yes, those emotions are going to be a little bit heavier, and also there's a grieving process that goes along with this. So let's talk about these emotions today on the basis of, these are just emotions that we have come up all throughout the day, whether it be frustration, sadness, anger, anxiety, disappointment. There's a slew of emotions that we feel on a daily basis. And so let's go through some of the steps to move you through these emotions a little bit easier. And the first one is, when an emotion comes up and you're feeling this emotion, the very first thing is to acknowledge it. To acknowledge it and give yourself that permission. So if you're feeling angry, instead of just kind of sloughing it off to the side and going about your busy day, take a moment and acknowledge it. Yes, I'm feeling angry. And with that, you may also know why you're feeling angry. And this will really help you pinpoint it to be able to release it. So you could really be like, wow, I'm really angry. I didn't get that job. Or wow, I'm really angry. So-and-so said they were going to do something and it didn't happen. Or wow, I'm really angry. My coworker didn't show up to work and now I've got the brunt of her work. Or I'm sad. I'm really sad because something that was supposed to happen didn't happen for me today. Or I'm disappointed because I was supposed to have a date with my husband and now he's on overtime. Whatever it might be, the first step is acknowledging it and bringing presence to it. Bring presence to that emotion. So that's the first step. The second step is, and you might be like, what, really? But the second step is to give thanks. Thank that emotion for coming up for you to be able to be with. Our emotions are really there to guide us and move us through. So give thanks. Thank you, anger. Thank you for showing yourself. I hear you. I see you. I feel you. Thank you. I know why you're here. Then, this is the fun part, really, is to take that emotion and feel it fully. Feel that anger, feel that sadness, feel that disappointment. You don't want to feel it a little bit, be like, oh, okay, I'm angry, and then move on. Or, wow, I'm really sad, and then move on. You really want to take the time to acknowledge and feel that emotion. Next step, which I believe is number 4. I haven't been keeping track. However, the next step is now to take that feeling and fully release it. And what do I mean by this? Well, use your tools in your toolbox. If you're sad, maybe you need to sit down and have a really good cry. If you're disappointed, maybe you need to treat yourself to a massage or take a hot bath or read. If you're really angry, maybe you need to have a really good pissy fit and a temper tantrum and get it out by punching pillows or throwing yourself on the floor, like whatever works for you. And what's so important is to fully release it. Do not leave a cookie in the cookie jar. I'm not saying, go, if you're sad, cry for 2 minutes, be like, okay, I'm done, we're done, I felt it, I'm done, I'm good. No. Really take that emotion and remove it, move it through your body until you feel complete and centered and back to yourself. Okay? After that, this is very important. After we have felt that emotion, we've moved it through, we've done our crying, we've done our temper tantrum, we've done, our hot bath or whatever it is we need to do to move that emotion out. This is very important. Do not stay stuck in that emotion. And what do I mean by that? It's very easy to say, okay, I felt anger. I felt it. I was really mad. I threw pillows. I went in my car and I screamed. I danced it out. Okay, I felt it. Now, what can happen is once we've released it, it's really easy to stay stuck in that emotion. It's really easy for it to kind of encapsulate us like, oh yeah, you'd never believe how angry I was today, and we talk about it. Or, oh gosh, I'm still so sad, I'm not going to do anything. Oh, can you believe how sad I am? It's really easy to keep talking about it and stay within that energy of that emotion that we were feeling. So what's really key here is after you felt that emotion fully and you have released it and moved it on, is to then not get stuck in it and kind of pick up, brush yourself off a little bit, and then move on with life. Am I saying that this is a really easy process? No, it's not. Am I saying we all have the capability on a day-to-day basis if we're, at our job from 8 to 5 or we're working or we have kids to do this? No. But the tip I can give you is up and you're in the grocery store, or that emotion comes up and you're taking care of your kids. Go back to that first step, acknowledge it and say, okay, anger, I feel you, you're here. Thank you. Remember, give that thanks. However, I can't get to you right now, but tonight at 9 o'clock after everybody's in bed, we're going to sit down together and we're going to feel these feelings out, okay? So if you're not able on a daily basis to take that step, that space that you need to feel through these emotions, just talk to your emotion, talk to that anger, talk to that sadness, that disappointment, that frustration, that anxiety, and say, I hear you, I feel you, I see you. Thank you for being here. I'm going to get back to you tonight when I have the space. So emotions, once again, are energy in motion. It's so important for us to acknowledge them, give thanks, give ourselves permission to feel them, give ourselves permission to release them in the healthy way that we need to, and then be able to kind of brush ourselves off, dust ourselves off, and come back to where we were. Feeling our emotions, releasing our emotions is healthy for us. And as long as we do it in a healthy way where we're not putting this energy onto other people, we're not putting the energy onto, say, our animals, we're not putting it onto our work, as long as we are healthy feeling them and healthily releasing them, this is exactly what our body, mind, and spirit needs to be aligned and centered. And a lot of times when we can't find that clarity we're looking for, that answer, that next aligned action step, it's because we have an emotion that's blocking us somewhere that needs to be felt, thanked, moved through so we can gain that clarity or that next action step. So in this week's challenge, I'm inviting anyone who would like to join us to use the steps that I've put through in this video to move through any emotions that you may be feeling this week. They can be little, they can be big, it doesn't matter. And to post below, how did it go for you? What steps were you able to use? Did you have challenges? Did you have struggles? Or were you just able to freely move through this emotion that you were working with? Is it easy at first? No, it's not. Emotions to a lot of us feel uncomfy, and that's okay. That's all right. But what we want is to learn healthy ways to be able to feel these and release them so we can get back to our higher selves, our selves of happiness and joy and love, which we all are, to move through our day. So I look forward to reading your posts below as you are moving through this week's challenge on emotions. Have a beautiful week. If you're here in Central New York, enjoy the beautiful weather that is coming our way. Many, many magical blessings from my soul to yours. Namaste.